Just making a quick video about my Losi King Sling LMT. This one's a fairly new vehicle out on the market. It's been set up more for your sort of mud bogging runs. That's why it's got these big sort of paddle tyres on it, D&D paddies. If I turn it round, you can see how narrow they are. They're like a tractor tyre designed to get really good grip in the mud, and because they're not as wide, they kind of bite into the mud instead of sucking down and getting stuck in it. That's the theory behind it anyway. But you can still use this as a monster truck, no worries at all. It still looks like a monster truck, it's just thinner tyres. You can change the tyres out and put the normal LMT wide monster truck tyres on it, no problem at all. They fit on perfectly, no issues, you can do that. But I've just been using it with these so far. These tyres are actually really, really good. On grass, they have a lot of traction. So if you turn corners with power down, it will roll over quite easily because they have so much traction, they just bite into the ground. But if you drive this in like sand or really loose dirt, you can actually power on and slide around corners and it throws sand and rocks and dirt everywhere. And it's actually a lot of fun. Once you get used to driving it and how you've got to drive it with these tyres, it's actually pretty cool. I'm liking it so far. I do have a normal LNT with monster truck tyres on it, so this is just a little bit different. Just wanted to try it with these tyres. It does have a full spectrum system in it. This is a hinging body on this, so the body hinges up from the rear here. I won't be able to lift it up here because it hits the top of my shelf. There's not enough room, but you can see under there, it's got the 130 amp firmer Spectra system, and there's a Spectrum motor in there. It is the 2800 kV, brushless of course. It's got the IC5 connector. You can run 2S, 3S and 4S batteries in it. I've just been running it on 3S. I think it's got plenty of power on 3S. It does have a Spectrum servo up the front up there. Surprisingly, not too bad, that servo. It's not the fastest thing, it's not the most powerful, but it does turn the tyres when they're stationary because they're not real wide tyres, so it's not too much of a drama for that servo. So far, yeah, I'm not going to change it out. I'm just going to use it. If it dies, I'll get something better, obviously. But surprisingly, out of the box, there's nothing you really need to change on this if you just want to go and have a bit of fun. It's going to be pretty hard to show, but if I just lift up the body and show you under here, I have shoe glued and drywall taped the whole body. I do that with all of my RCs that are like going to be bashed. I don't really do it with my on-road cars, but anything that's an off-road car, I always do it. It leaves the body so it's still flexible. The body will still flex, but it makes it a hell of a lot stronger. It's just going to last a lot longer, especially with this vehicle, with this whole area. This is a two-piece. It's got a top piece and a piece underneath. So if you undo these screws here, these come off. I shoe glued on the bottom of each piece and then join them back together. And that's going to make that area a hell of a lot stronger. Same with where the screws go through, because it's got the shoe glue and drywall tape. It's going to not split as easy. It's just going to make it last a lot longer. This area at the back here, you can see where I was talking about being two-piece. There's a join across here. This will split open and catch rocks and dirt and stuff. So once I finish with the drywall and that, I actually shoe glued on the inside of it and glued them together. So now it's one piece, so it doesn't split apart. It's not something you have to do. I just shoe glue and drywall tape all of my bashes. It just makes the bodies last a hell of a lot longer. It's a front view of it. You can see it comes to the point at the front. It's actually quite a unique looking vehicle. This is based on a real life vehicle. That's why it's designed the way it is. It's actually officially licensed. It's one of the Anderson boys vehicles, but yeah, it's actually quite a cool looking thing. And if you put the LMT monster truck tires, the wider ones on it, it actually looks pretty mean as well. So it'd be really nice as a monster truck as well. I have noticed with mine, I've seen some other YouTubers talk about it, because I've been running in the dirt and stuff. You can see here, there's a bit of dirt building up around the bottom of the shock. They are leaking. They're leaking a little bit of oil. I don't know how much oil. I haven't pulled them apart yet. Just comparing one side to the other, they still feel fairly well dampened, so I don't think it's leaking a lot of oil, but it's definitely, if you have a look where this dirt is piling up here, there is definitely some oil coming out of that shock. The others, that one there's got the tiniest little bits that may be leaking a few leaks, but this one's definitely the worst. The front ones, I haven't noticed any build up on them. They're still really good, so I think they'd probably okay at the moment. But yeah, definitely this rear shock is leaking some oil. I don't know how much, but yeah, it's just something to keep an eye on. I'm not too worried about it. It's not like this is a high performance race car. After, you know, 10, 20 odd runs, I'll pull the shock apart and have a look and see how much oil's in there and change it out and see if I can work out a way to stop it from leaking. But at the moment, I'm not too worried. These tyres, they're not vented in the rubber themselves. There's no hole here. They do have vents in the rims. They're not on the face of the rim, so you can't see the vents here. They're actually vented in the rear of the rim. It's very, very hard to show on camera, but in the back in here, the vents are in there. But if you're gonna block it off with tape, you're gonna have to take the wheel off. You can see all these little fins. The holes are in between these thin little fins, and there's no way you can get your finger in there. I think those fins are obviously designed to make the rim stronger, but they've done it in a way too where it might stop some of the dirt and stuff from getting in there, because when these wheels are spinning, rocks and stuff and dirt, it's going to be very hard for them to get in that hole. But yeah, I normally put some tape over my vent holes in my rims, but I haven't with this because it's just too bloody hard to get in there. As I said, this is a hinging body, so it is fixed on the front here. There's body pins that go under the sides here and two at the back as well. And then the whole body just hinges up and stays fixed at the front. So when you don't have something up above like this, you can literally just hinge the body all the way forward, put your battery in. The battery does have these rubber straps. In the box, comes with heaps of different ones. You can see on the side of the battery box, there's all different things you can put in there for different batteries. It comes with multiple of these rubber straps. I haven't needed to change any of them. I use the Spectrum batteries on it. Like I said, I've been running this on 3S. It's just a 5000 milliamp 100C Spectrum battery. Plenty of power for this. I haven't been using it with the remote it come with. I bind all of my vehicles that I have up to my Spectrum DX5 Pro or my DX5 Rugged. This one I've bind it to my Rugged. That's what I've been running it with. No real reason other than that's just the one that I set it up with. But yeah, that's just a quick look at this thing. Really tough. I'm loving it. I've used it quite a few times, haven't broken it. It's still in really good condition. The body's still looking good. Tyres are holding up really well. They haven't been coming unglued or anything. It's just a great, fun vehicle. Different look too. If you're sick of the way that the old LMTs are looking, you want a bit of a change. This is quite a tough looking monster truck if you want to put those bigger tyres on it. A lot of fun. I think with the bigger tyres too, being a bit wider, it probably would handle a little bit better in corners and stuff if you want to drive it a bit harder. But personal preference, you do what you want to do. Another thing I can mention is the chassis here. Obviously it's powder coated, you can see that. The other one isn't. I really like the look of it being powder coated, but they've also shortened it. The other LMT, the chassis comes out a lot further out here. Same with at the back. They've just made it a bit shorter. Kind of looks really cool, especially from back here with the green body, the green chassis. I really like it. I think it looks tough. But yeah, just a quick look of the LMT. I'll do some more videos on it in the future, but so far I'm loving it, and pick one up if you want to grab one.